Just in case one of us says something intelligent, and we want a record of that. Anyways, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. My name is Mike DiMuccio. I'm your Niken Royal Diamond host of the Royal Alliance, the Aligning with Success call. Royal Alliance is one of my pseudonames. I see some new faces, or they were there for a second. Do we have any introductions to make?
James Lauderdale is from the Nashville area, and Andre Perry is from the Nashville area too.
Nashville, great area, great music. That's where I think some of the best music is written, is right there in Nashville. Anyway, I'm biased. Welcome, Andre. And who else did you introduce me
James
to?
Lauderdale.
And James.
Thank you.
James. There you are, James. Okay, cool. Welcome, gentlemen. This call ordinarily is an opportunity for people to maybe interface with me and get a little bit of insights about how they can build their business in a more efficient way, in a way that aligns them to the kind of things that have made it possible for me to see the big wins that I've seen and help others to duplicate that. Normally, I have an agenda, but as it is today, I sort of spilled my beans on Dave Rolfe's call earlier today. So if those of you have not seen the recording from Dave Rolfe's call earlier today, it's a good call, good information. It's the fundamentals, it's the basics, definitely applicable to anybody who's new to the team. So please take a minute to watch that. There's two videos. One is Dave doing his training, and the second video is my commentary on it and some Q&A. So I think both valuable and insightful. How do you get access to it? If you don't know, if you're not already, well, some of you are already connected directly to Dave through his web portal, which is daverolfe.com, R-O-L-F-E is Rolfe, daverolfe.com, and you can see the videos. Otherwise, a fast way to stay connected and plugged in, and this is particular to our gentleman here new on the call, register on, get WhatsApp on your phone. If you don't have WhatsApp on your phone, most people do, but if you don't, get it. It is a tool that's free, but it is probably the most important communication tool we have in our business, WhatsApp. And we're able to create groups. We're able to plug into groups. We're able to share everything a text message app can and more. It also warehouses for us a lot of the content. So the content from today's call with Dave Rolfe is there already. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, please ask your sponsor to get you plugged into the Core Consultant WhatsApp group. And I would also suggest you get onto the newsletter, because the newsletter, Core Consultant newsletter, is an amazing newsletter that's but primarily Ben Woodward is the author, and I sort of peruse it and sometimes come up with an idea or two, but he's really the brains behind the newsletter. He's got incredible content. And Core Consultant newsletter, I'm looking for it right now to give you the link. Then you can just register and you'll get emails. Okay, so this phone app doesn't want to work. Maybe you ever tried trouble with their iPhones trying to search something? Sure. Newsletter, let's see. Oh, there it is. Now it came up. I had to close the app, reopen the app, and type the same thing. All right, so here it is. B-I-T, here, let me just type it into the chat. So if you're not already on the newsletter, here's how you get on it. bit.ly, bit.ly /CC newsletter and subscribe. Subscribe. There you go. bit.ly /CC newsletter, subscribe, all one word. And then you can subscribe to. Did it not send to you guys? Did you get it yet? No, eh?
Put it in the chat box.
Okay, I'm in the chat box, and for some reason it's not showing up properly. So let's try that again. Chat. everyone. Why isn't it sending? There we go. Okay, now you got it. All right. So be a part of the newsletter. Great content, as I said, information about what's coming up, information about what's hot and what's not, any type of things that we've learned, insights into building the business, just the kind of stuff that you want to be plugged into if you're a Niken business builder. Let's just face it. Now, so I'm going to open the call tonight to some Q&A, especially on behalf of those of you who are new. First of all, we do want to do some recognition here because I believe we have a new silver. Leo, is your new silver on the line?
Yes, I have one. Lynn.
Where's Lynn?
I have two. Silver this month, and last month I had 2 Marie France.
I'm looking for Lynn. It's not. Where's Lynn?
No, it's Lino.
Oh, Lino. Okay, there. Lino. That's not how you spell Lynn. Confusing me.
She just silver last week and 2 months and a half.
All right. So let's ask Lynn a little bit about her journey in learning about Niken and becoming a silver in Niken within 2.5 months. So Lynn, welcome to the call. Can you unmute? Okay, sort of put you on the spot, Lynn, but you're a new silver and silver is shiny. So you get a little bit of recognition and attention right now. We're very happy for you. So tell us about your journey. Give us your story in brief.
It was very cool, very fast first, but I was very surprised because, the last time was very long with the other company that I use it. But for now, it's very surprised me, amazing for me.
And when you were first introduced to Niken 2.5 months ago,
yeah,
what was your attention? What got your attention? Why did you join Niken?
Because when I was in June
Give me 1 second. Guys, when you join a call, first thing you do is make sure you're muted.
It's Andre.
Which is direction of your
Hang
entire
on.
life.
I'm not finding Linda, but I'll find her in a second.
Yeah.
Linda, you're in our call. There we go. Sorry about that, Lynn. Go ahead. Continue.
When I meet Niken is June 12th, when he was there to explain the company and everything. And when I listened to the people they succeed about Niken, I was very happy for that because it's some people they explain the experience and I believe it, and I would like to do the same thing for them. I would like to
Experience.
Yeah, I would like to do the same thing, and that's why I joined Niken at the same time, because if somebody they can, I can.
You're right. Absolutely. If anybody can, anybody can. So that's kind of how I looked at it. When I was first introduced to Niken, I learned that there was a person in Japan who had made $2 million in 1 month. Now, I didn't think if they could, I could, but I figured if they could make 2 million, I could probably make 5,000. That's reasonable. I'm not that stupid. I'm smart enough to at least figure out some of this. Anyway, so go on, Lynn. So you saw the possibility, you decided to join. Any experience with the products that you've had?
Yeah, I use some product and I have some result. And that's why I continue to speak with someone because it's so.
Which is your favorite product so far?
It's the water hydrogen, in English the name, but
the Pymag, the waterfall.
Yeah, with the whole
Hydrogen.
Oh, the hydrogen. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's your favorite product so far. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the first time I've heard somebody say that that's their favorite product. That's why I'm surprised. Okay, great. Okay, so now you're a silver. You just became a silver. You've got some members on your team.
Yeah. I have three people, person with me.
Fantastic. So you have what we recommend, 3. You know, it's like a stool. Stool is very strong when there's 3 legs. So having 3 legs is really good.
Yeah.
And so what's your goal next?
I try for the other one in British Columbia.
You have another person in British Columbia?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So you're already expanding outside the province.
Exact.
Very good.
One in the Mexico and the other one in the British Columbia.
Fantastic. Going international as well in your first 3 months. That's fantastic. Well done. Well, we congratulate you and we're happy to have you. And we look forward to hearing more about your upcoming successes. Can I make one recommendation?
Recommendation for everybody?
Yeah, for everybody, but especially for you. So figure out what you did that worked for you to become a silver and help your team members do the same thing.
It's to continue to lead someone, you know, when you teach somebody and you encourage someone, it's impossible to not succeed.
It's true. I'm with you on that one. All right, awesome. Do we have anybody else thanks, Lynn. Do we have anybody else who's newly minted that we need to recognize? I do know we have some people who've returned from Hawaii, from Team Kaizen. And so they've probably got some new words to share with us. Please unmute yourself, Ruth, Madeline. Who else is there? I think it was just Ruth and Madeline on the line here. So why don't you share with us, because listen, so for those of you who are in the qualifications for Japan, the trip to Japan, Team Kaizen, you know, the Team Kaizen adventures are pretty remarkable. Niken does an amazing job at entertaining us and recognizing us through these annual programs, these annual trips. And the incentive for last year's Team Kaizen members was Hawaii. So those of you who were eligible to go to Hawaii, Leo and myself were, but we elected not to because of the hoops that we would have to jump through as people who are not compliant, let's just say. We forfeited that, but they sent us a nice big check. I'm sure Leo doesn't mind the big check that he got. I don't mind. So in place of that, I went to a trip here locally to one of my favorite lakes and spent a week there. But Ruth, Madeline, tell us about your trip, your adventure to Hawaii.
Well, first of all, Madeline and myself, we are Team Taishi.
That's right. Thank you for correcting me.
Okay.
Team Taishi, that's the elite team.
Well, it's another 30,000 points. And so it's not easy to do, but yeah, there was, I think, 8 of us that were Team Taishi in the group. So that was really, really cool. And I think the highlight of our trip was Richard Brooks. He came from Lanai and flew over to Honolulu and spent 2.5 hours with us.
Let me just point out who Richard Brooks is for those of you who don't know. He is the author of this book, For Your Career. He's a gentleman. He's an incredible teacher. He's not only taught this book, he's taught many courses over the years. He's a friend. One of my favorite books of all of his books is this one here, Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire by Richard Bliss Brooke. And you can go and get it at blissbusiness.com. So there you go. There's a pitch for Richard. Go ahead. Tell us about that. Why was that your highlight? My God, you're in Hawaii.
Well, because, you know, he was very authentic and sincere with us and opened the floor up to ask questions. And just, you know, we hear these things, these answers all the time from different people. But when you hear it at the right moment, when you're supposed to hear it, and that's what happened with Richard for myself and for my husband, Robert. One of the things he talked about is recruiting. We are not doing enough recruiting and we need to focus on that. And so I really took heart. And then yesterday we signed up 2 people. So, you know, it's interesting what happens when you shift your mindset, right? And sometimes you need somebody like a Richard Brooke to talk from another angle. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, that really makes sense. And then the other thing he talked about was personal growth. And that is definitely, I remember when I first met Louise a few years back, And he told me he spent thousands of dollars on personal growth. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. And Mike, I know you also value that personal growth and development. So he mentioned that, and he said, we just really need to grow. You don't stay at this. And my mother used to say, if you're not growing, you're dying. So you got to be growing, right? So personal development is really important. The other thing he mentioned, which was amazing, was that he said the company that we're in for 47 years is a legacy company, and there's not too many companies out there. He shared these numbers with us, and I'm a numbers person. So he said, in the past 47 years, there have been over 100,000 network marketing companies. And today, there's only 700 that have been around for more than 20 years. And only half of that has been around more than 10 years. So he says, you're in the elite of the elite to be here after all these years. And he also, said that, and we have the right person at the helm. And he pointed to Louise, and that was very reassuring. I mean, we love Louise. We knew that, but to have somebody else bring that and put that on the table and lift him up like that, it was really amazing. The whole experience with Richard was really phenomenal. And it was a small group. There's only 22 of us. So it really was a wonderful thing. But of course, the trips and the food, they fed us like kings, and they treated us first class all the way. And it was pretty amazing. And because of that, I really want to encourage everybody to really look at this Japan trip, because Japan's going to be amazing, right? And
Awesome.
Mike knows it. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks,
my
Ruth.
share.
Hey, listen, if you aren't plugged into Richard Brook, please do. He has a Facebook group that you can plug into, and he does his daily, what does he call it? Daily salt. There's a saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. All you can do is salt their oats, which makes them thirsty, so they'll drink. So he has this thing where he does a short video every day called Your Daily Salt. And it's just chock full of wisdom from Richard Brook. So I'm plugged into it because I really enjoy his commentary. I love the fact that he's so straight up. He was one of our keynote speakers in Toronto in 2018 at our event here. And we go back, and I think he's just one of those guys in our industry that is he's the A-lister in the industry who's not affiliated with a company. So he's like a real network marketing industry guy. So to have him give a nod to your company, to your CEO, to what you're doing is a big deal. So I totally appreciate that, Ruth. And we also had Madeline. Madeline, you were in Hawaii.
Yes, I was. And I was on the class earlier today. So first, I'd like to second what Mike said. Please, everyone that's here tonight, listen not once, but twice to the recordings from the DaveRolf.com session today. It was very rewarding to have the two top leaders that have been active with us. And so I just want to speak a little bit from my history. There's several here, and then I'd like to ask the two gentlemen that are guests tonight, if I may. I forget the first names, but I think it's your very first meeting. You came on as a guest to learn a little bit more. Is that true? The two from Tennessee?
It's
I'm
Andre and
it's
James.
Andre and James. So for
Yes,
Andre and
That is
James,
true.
and you're not members yet, you're here to kick the tires to see what this is all about.
I'm here to smell what the tire is putting out.
All right.
Okay.
The exhaust.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
and so what you heard Ruth say is the need to boost the recruiting engine here. So I'm going to speak a little bit, just briefly, about what this event meant for me. I started in 1998, so I've been around for 24 years. And my quick story of where I came from the restructuring of the sick care system, the consolidation. I was a corporate vice president of a healthcare system of a merged entity. I didn't like having to close a hospital and lay off people that I helped to encourage to advance their education for the upward mobility kind of corporate job security. And then I didn't like when it happened to me. So when I first saw how these technologies worked as an advanced prepared nurse, from the prevention perspective, good hydration, good sleep, energy, good nutrition, it's basic. And one of the shifts that is critical for us with NECANT, this 47-and-a-half-year-old company that is Mike likes to use the analogy of pebbles in a pool and a tsunami, if I'm pronouncing that right, wave. So for the two gentlemen that are looking tonight, that's where we are. I also have an executive MBA. So every company, every industry, every business goes through business cycles. And the statistic that Ruth just gave is a critical one. This Richard Bliss Brooks also said that of all the hundreds of companies, he doesn't work for any of them. He works for the ones who have a product or a solution that is not just fly by night, that is going to last a Vision 2025, which Vision 2025 is our strategic plan for the 50th anniversary of a company. So this is a global company, been around for a long time. So with business cycles, with what's happened in our world. So again, I can speak from health, specifically what has COVID done to the economy, and what has it done to piquing the interest of self-care, assuming responsibility for our health. So being in that kind of a transformational change has been a little difficult from some of the seniors. Mike has more gray hair than me, but I'm old enough to be his mother. And so it's caused a few new gray hairs. When you're used to doing something the old way, transformational change can be a little uncomfortable. We are here, and I am more excited and remotivated than, well, I stayed in the business dip in the cycle because I could not leave knowing our mission, our purpose, the people, the community that we're associated with, those that you see here tonight and those that'll listen to the review, but particularly for the two young men that are looking at this. Really kick the tires seriously, jump in, listen to the greats, and don't look back. Of particular interest of our new global CEO is the diversity in the world. And just looking at the two of you, you represent diversity. And we don't have many people of color. We also, in the lifespan, everybody needs water from conception to your last breath, and rest and food and energy. But we also, replenishments for a Vision 2025 and a Vision 2050 and a Vision 2075 require the next generation. So the timing of this small group of like-minded, purpose-driven people with a visionary CEO and with events like this one tonight, where we have an experienced leader like Mike and the recording of the call earlier today, the timing and the call for each of us is to, and I'll summarize what I heard on the earlier call. What do you want? Why did you come tonight? What piqued your interest? And so that's for the two of you, and it's for each of us. What do we want right now at this point in our lives, where our world is, and what are we willing to do about that? And the vehicle is network marketing, so it's work. There isn't anything in this world that doesn't require a little bit of sweat equity. But the sky is the limit. It's based upon your desire, your dreams, how much you're willing to put into it. And with this CEO, it's about service. Service to community and personal growth. And humility. We've all gotten a little more humble, haven't we, Michael? And nothing wrong with a little bit of humility and service in the world that we're in today. We're divisiveness. When Mike said that he and Leo didn't go, there were some other outcomes of what has happened in the past 2 years that have pitted people against people, interfered with freedom. And so when you have this vehicle with the solutions that it offers, you know, since coming home, it's besides the time change and getting used to not eating 6-course meals and walking to the top of the volcano and so forth when you have 3 joint replacements. So I'm just going to end it with that. I just turned 75. I have joint replacements. I've been in the sick care system, and I've been in this amazing company for 24 years. And
Amazing.
so, yes.
Well,
So
Madeline, I love your commentary tonight. Very, very
too long.
succinct.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it's,
Yeah.
no, but there's some points that you're making here. I mean, you've not said them before, but I appreciate that. And I think the gentlemen do as well. We have a business model that allows for people of every walk of life, and the range of age that this represents. What you're seeing on this call tonight is already from the, I'm gonna guess 30s to, as you just said, 70s. My daughters, who are now involved with NECAN a year, they're in their early 20s, and I started when I was 27. So the fact that this business is attractive to such a very wide range of people means who is not a prospect for this. And so if you drink water, if you sleep, if you have a need to generate income, if you have ambition, if you're looking for flexibility and diversity, if you're looking for community, if you're looking for purpose, where you've got an organization of people who are really driven by purpose, then you have all the things that you need to offer the world and the people you know at this time an opportunity to investigate. The only thing that we do, and I want to make this clear about the recruiting cycle, the recruiting side of this, we offer people an opportunity to investigate. I trust and I believe that the people who resonate with the message, the products, the opportunity, they don't need to be convinced. They'll be convincing you. They'll be telling you they want to get started. They'll be pushing you. They'll be calling you. They'll be texting you. There's never about dragging people in, because if you got to drag them in, you got to drag them around, and that's not fun. What's fun is to be in a community of people who are equally, who see the world with the same principles and values that you do, who appreciate the things that you appreciate. That's where you want to be, and that's what's so fun about this, is that I don't know even how many countries I've been in and how many cultures I've been exposed to where NECAN has business. And it's so exciting to be part of a global community. I remember something, and I'm gonna turn to questions next, gentlemen, so I hope you have some for me. I remember one of the members of our community said on a video one time, I thought, this is such a perfect statement. He said, I never wanted to look at point to a building and say, that's where I work. I wanted to point to a map of the world and say, that's where I work. That's so cool. And I know more than ever, fewer and fewer people want a desk job. Fewer and fewer people want to show up at the same building at the same time and go through that every single day, for 40 years. If you got an opportunity to be in a business where, as this book's called, The 4-Year Career, where in 4 years' time, you could literally propel yourself into an opportunity, into a business that allows you the freedom and the flexibility to have, to be able to work from home, to be able to work from anywhere you are, to be able to generate a residual income, to be able to, again, plug into and participate in community. And all the while knowing that every single product that's on somebody is making a difference. It's not a thing that we sell. It's a wellness experience that we sell. People improve their health and well-being just by being in contact with these products. There's a physical thing. And that I knew because I was an aerospace engineer graduate, and I knew when you stick a magnet on a person, there's a physical effect because it's the laws of physics. And it just so happens that the effect is very positive. So with that, gentlemen, do you have any questions for me? A little bit about me, by the way, just FYI, I've been in with NECAN 30 years. I'm a NECAN Royal Diamond, and I have been since 1997. So I had the top rank in the company, 5.5 years into my journey with NECAN, and have enjoyed absolutely an amazing business vehicle, income, lifestyle for most of my 30 years at the top rank. So I've seen it all, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
I have a question. First of all, I want to thank Mike Barcroft for inviting me. Mike has known me for roughly 8 years, Mike. And he visited me down in my family. My dad is in the ministry. So, and my mom passed, Mike took me out to eat, and he hit me in areas of comfort. And when you was talking about, your purpose. And so I've been in purpose lifestyle for a long time, but I didn't want to be in the rigor of the lifestyle. In other words, I want to be a sower. So just all of a sudden I said, Mike, all right, I'm ready to decide to see what this is all about, because you've been talking about it since we've met. So my question for you is, when you speak of purpose and in a family and trying to know where the reason why you joined, can you tell me like some of the community services, the things that you poured into different communities to change, to help make a difference? Because my goal in life is to be a difference maker.
Okay, wow, that's a huge question, because I mean, everybody on this call has some, I guess, places where they invest their time and energy. My focus has always been in shifting consciousness. That's been my game from day one. I knew I was born for that. I knew that I was born with purpose. I knew I had a calling. I just didn't know how to translate that into something practical and meaningful for people, so that they wouldn't walk away feeling good about themselves, but not have any way to translate that into, or transfer that into something that matters or that makes an impact in their life. So having the combination of both the right message, the right understanding, with the right vehicle that is in alignment with those core principles, those core values. Like, you will not find a single person on this call who's not spiritually centered. We come from various contexts and traditions, but there's one thing that's common to us, is we have a sense of purpose. We have a sense of knowing that we are guided, we are divinely guided, we are driven by the feeling and the knowing within ourselves that our life matters and that what we do with it matters. And we are of service. And it turns out that Nikken is one of those companies where the company from the top and from its foundation, from its founder, who I had opportunity to spend time with, was all about building a community that would help other people. The whole compensation plan is designed that way. So you can't actually succeed in Nikken unless it's helping other people. The orientation of the economics of this is to help others. It's not about, it's not like climbing the corporate ladder where it's highly competitive. There's a lot of disinformation, because if you give everybody what you know, then you might feed the competition. So it's completely the opposite of that. It's all about collaboration. So my success is a function of how capable am I of empowering others to be successful. And so that's been the focus of my giving, if you will, other than, giving to causes that I believe in. For instance, Habitat for Humanity is one of the causes that I really, really believe in. But providing people with the opportunity to improve themselves, not just with Nikken. Nikken is a part of it. But one of the reasons why I endorse, for instance, Richard Brooke. Richard wrote this book, Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. It's a network marketing book in the sense that it's really applicable to somebody starting a network marketing business, but it's not. It's really about life. It's really about how we orient our thoughts and how we create success as a function of, what we're saying in our own mind. So that's been my thing. My thing is personal development, helping people. That's why I call this call Aligning with Success. It's about the law of attraction, the law of abundance. It's about all the spiritual laws. It's the law of vibration, the law of cause and effect. I mean, these are all the same things. At the end of the day, we're all connected. We're all one. There is only one. And we are the manifestation of that one. And therefore, if we're not in harmony with the law, we're actually going against our own interests. And what it means to be in harmony with the law is to be a conduit of good. And Niken has been, for me, an incredible vehicle through which that good is actually measurable. And in our case, in our business, it's the size of your check. That may seem callous and that may seem two-dimensional, but it's not. The size of your check is really a function of the impact that you're having in the world. And in this case, very much so because of how the compensation plan's structured. So you want to make a difference, you want to make a big difference, build a Royal Diamond business. That would be somebody who's made a difference in the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in a very real and tangible way. So, and how much is enough? There is no such thing. You know, some people say, well, how much money is enough money? I don't know. It depends on what you're doing with it. If you've got channels for that money, the more the better. So be a conduit, just be an open channel to receive and to give. I don't know if that helps you, but I mean, that's my 2 cents worth. Ruth, my pleasure. Ruth, you got your hand up. You want to jump in on this?
Yes, if you don't mind.
No, not
so
at all.
I just wanted to share, Andre, I was a CPA by trade before Niken, and I worked 80 hours a week. I never saw my children. I go to work at 7 in the morning. My son would be asleep, and I come home at 11 o'clock at night, and he would be asleep. I'm not sure he knew that I was his mother. And then Niken came into my life, and I decided to quit my job. And my husband freaked out because I had the corner office, and I was making more than 3/4 of the income coming in the house. But I knew that this wasn't the life I wanted to do. I needed to be home with my children. And what happened is, all of a sudden, I was able to put God first, my family second, and then my Niken business. Prior to that, it was always my job first. And that is not a life to live. So the reason I want to share that is because what has happened because of Niken, I was then able to go to church, be active in a small group, be active in a women's group. And then I became a mentor mom in 2 moms groups in 2 very large churches. So then I've been able to make the impact on all these young mothers that didn't have anybody as a mentor for them. And I was able to do that because of Niken. So I think, I just want to give you an example of how our life can be changed when we free it up and really able to give all to God first, family second, and then our business. And it's worked really well. And I've been in it 22 years. And I will tell you, that was the best decision I ever made, because the impact that I made, not just on my family, but on all the families I've helped with those moms, those young moms that I've worked with. So just wanted to share.
Wow, Ruth, that's the first time I've heard your story. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Any other questions? James, Andre, this is your time.
That's all I have. I mean, I would reconvene with Mike, and I guess we'll end up probably talking about what the next step is going to be.
Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. Barb, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mike. I'd just like to add that the time that I've been in Niken, a number of things have happened. I lost my husband unexpectedly, very suddenly. But even though I wasn't in the mindset of building a business, I was able to continue to serve my clients. And it was my Niken family that stayed with me, even though I wasn't building. I never lost touch with the rest of the Niken consultants. Their love and support was there. So when my mind was ready to step back into the business aspect of it, I did. But in the meantime, I received a check from Niken every month for the business that my husband and I had built prior to his passing. And now I'm working to go to Japan. But Mike, I'd like you to address the comment that you made. I've heard you say it several times, when people have made a smart remark about charity, and you have said, this business has allowed you to be charitable. I give to several charities that mean a great deal to me, and I serve in a charity every week. And it's part of our purpose. Our purpose is serving others. And it's all about what can we do for the other person? It's not about what can we get from them. It's how can we give to them? And the more we give to them, well, it's the law of attraction. It comes back in ways that you don't expect. Some are surprising, but we accept them because it's our purpose to serve. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Barb. All right. Well, actually, I love that last comment because one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, would say, there's only one source. So it doesn't matter how you serve, how you put that energy out, it all comes back. It comes back through a source, and is at the end of the day, there's really only one source. So yeah, just be that conduit. And I know that the world that we are leaving behind is making room for the world that's trying to be birthed. It's a very painful process, the birthing process, and it's no different. You know, right now we have people struggling and fighting to hold on to something that they actually don't really want. And then there are those who recognize, you know, this whole 2-year, 3-year window has given some people the opportunity to say, you know what, I don't want to go back to the office. I don't want to go back to that job. And they would never have actually taken the risk or changed their approach if it wasn't that they were confronted with it. So the situation has put people on notice. And I think this is an opportunity for our business. Our business, by the way, just as an FYI, James and Andre, has thrived during COVID. You know, that's just that's a remarkable thing to know that we've actually done better. And why would that be the case? Well, one, more people are looking to self-care. More people are looking to take care of themselves in terms of their health, and Nikan is that opportunity. Two, more people are looking for connection. You know, there's so many connections that have been broken, and people feel isolated and alone, and they want community. That's a big, big feature. And of course, now more people are starting their own businesses because they realize that their job is not secure, and maybe they've had to compromise in order to keep their job, and they're feeling the effects of that. They want an alternative, and Nikan is that. It's an alternative income stream, and it can become a primary income stream for those who treat it like a business. So we have things to offer today that are even more relevant today than they were even 3 years ago. So that's an amazing thing. When you have a business that is actually not only keeping with the times, but even ahead of the times, that's an important feature when you're out there talking about Nikan and somebody says to you, oh, well, is that network marketing? Is that one of those pyramid things? Tell me what you know about those pyramid things, as you call them, because they have an opinion, but their opinion is not based on facts. It's based on hearsay. It's based on what they think they know, or what minimal experience they may have or know of somebody who had. It's not, if you gave them the chance, if they had the chance to learn about it in a professional way from somebody who had the compassion to take the time to take them through that experience, they're going to see what you're seeing. They're going to see the real deal. They're going to find that company that's been around for 45, 47 years and realize this is not a fly-by-night operation. This is not a scam. This is the real deal. So if you can hook, you know, you hitch your wagon onto something like this that has forward motion and it's got no end in sight, why wouldn't you do that for the sake of your family? You know, I got generation number 2 starting Nikan. I hope that becomes a thing in our family, that Nikan becomes a generational thing. I think Richard was on a call and he said he's working with people who are in their 3rd generation in a network marketing business. So the business is handed down generationally because it's real, it's legit. And you know, if it does offer all the freedom and flexibility that you're hearing on this call, who would not want that for themselves? So we just need to give them the opportunity to investigate. That's it. Our job is that. It's through the window of our eyes, our ears, our heart, what we say and how we say, that gives them the opportunity to explore it. And then we trust that if they see it for themselves, you won't need to be convincing them of anything. They'll be telling you what they want to do. So I like that kind of business. Yeah, I like doing business like that. You know, what's your close, Mike? What's your closing technique? I ask them a simple question. What do you think we should do next? That's the question. If they don't have an answer, I'll ask them another question, but at some point in time, they're going to have an answer. So there you go. Well, anyway, I think we could wrap up with that. Thanks for joining the call, everybody. Thanks for your contributions, everyone, and all the successes that we're hearing. Congratulations. Andre, did you have another point that you want to make?
Hey, just thank you for having me a part of the family, and nice meeting everyone. We don't cross paths with people in life. So sometimes when you do have a chance to meet people in different worlds, I'm always grateful to sow that seed and receive a seed as well.
Wonderful. Well, bless you there. All right, everybody, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Lynn, you have your hand up. I don't want to miss you. There you go.
I will make it very quick because this is so close to my heart. I have one of my daughters, Michael, diagnosed with autoimmune. It was recent, very degenerative. And we are in a medical system we call nowadays. We know how bad it is for us. For her to receive help, you're talking about possible medically 20, 30 grand a year to be able to put the autoimmune thing in remission so that her body's not deteriorating. So when I'm able to offer her so much through our products and it made a difference, there is no money and there is no, I don't know how to choose the words, how powerful that is beside the business when it's someone so close to you in your family. So we have something that no other company has.
Amen. Wonderful to that. All right, so let's get the word out, guys. We got a job ahead of us. It's a big job. It's a monster job. We'll never get it done in our lifetime, but it's certainly worth giving it all we got. So thanks for joining, everybody. See you next week.
Remember the kickoff call on Thursday.